Lester Kiewit, senior parliamentary reporter, is covering that story for Newsday. Lester, very good afternoon to you. So what's the plan then?
Well, it seems like it's all systems go for the ANC in the Western Cape. They've just announced former Premier Ebrahim Rasool will be the head of the election campaign here in the Western Cape. Now, remember, Ebrahim Rasool, fairly popular man here in the Western Cape, especially around the ANC. He was recalled as Premier in 2008. He was then deployed as a special advisor to the then President Kgalema Motlanthe, and then as the ambassador, South African ambassador to the United States. Since then, since him being back in the province, he's been working on the ground here within the ANC ranks to try and rebuild the party ahead of the 2019 elections. But if you're looking back at that 2008 moment when Ebrahim was essentially fired by the ANC's NEC, now being called back to head an election campaign, which they say they're confident in unseating the Democratic Alliance here as the leaders of government here in the Western Cape come the 2019 elections.
Lester, given his controversial past, surely this is a fairly risky move?
We can't forget the allegations regarding brown envelopes that have surrounded the premiership of Ebrahim Rasool, but he's still a fairly popular man here. Ebrahim Rasool has never been found guilty of being convicted of any wrongdoing, but the allegations of brown envelopes to journalists here in the Western Cape had dogged his premiership. But since returning back to South Africa after his fairly long stint in Washington, D.C., where he was the South African ambassador, Ebrahim Rasool has portrayed himself as a fairly popular and a unifying figure here in the Western Cape, and many people say that we could see a return of Ebrahim Rasool and also his then political enemy within his own party, Mcebisi Skwatsha, coming together, forming alliances to rebuild the party here in the province. The ANC says that what has happened, or what has led to the ANC's dwindling electoral support in the Western Cape, and particularly in Cape Town, had been because of what they call the sideshow regarding controversies around former President Jacob Zuma. Remember, the Democratic Alliance winning a 2/3 majority in the city of Cape Town's municipality at the last local government election. So off that base, the ANC has a pretty uphill battle to fight to regain any voter confidence here in this province. But the ANC says they're confident. They say that as the party here finds its new purpose, finds a sense of renewal and rejuvenation, it says it's coming at the exact time where the Democratic Alliance faces its own problems, particularly in the city of Cape Town, with Mayor Patricia de Lille fighting for her political survival. What is interesting, though, I asked the ANC's national election head, Kiewit, what would his thoughts be on if Patricia de Lille were to leave the Democratic Alliance? Would she find a home for herself within the ANC? And she does still prove to be a very popular character, especially amongst voters here in Cape Town and the Western Cape. Kiewit saying that she is a strong politician, somewhat praising her and saying that the Democratic Alliance won't be knowing what they're losing in a politician like Patricia de Lille. So it does not seem as if the doors are particularly closed for Patricia de Lille's political life, and along with that newly announced election head, Ebrahim Rasool, if possibility being that Patricia de Lille leaves the DA, joins the ANC, that could be a formidable ticket for the ANC in the Western Cape to regain this province.
Lester, very quickly, how much ground then would the ANC have to make up in this respect if, as you say, it's confident about regaining power in the province?
Well, the ANC is basing their strategy and basing the comments on what they call the turmoil and the implosion of the Democratic Alliance. Ebrahim Rasool quoting an unspecified opinion poll saying that the ANC is on track at 51%, according to the ANC, to regain the Western Cape province. But I do think that there is plenty of voter issues that are at stake here. If we're looking at the current water crisis and how that has been handled within the city of Cape Town, the ANC saying that they'll be using that as part of their strategy, using the increase in particularly water tariffs here in the city of Cape Town, using that as an election strategy, saying that the Democratic Alliance has somewhat forgotten the poor. But also it is the question of race and identity. Ebrahim Rasool saying it's no longer a question of the so-called coloured vote here in the Western Cape. It's dealing with what the ANC calls the national question of how all colour people, black people, should unite and form a mass bloc to regain the province for the ANC. And the ANC saying that that is something that the Democratic Alliance has missed out on, that they're saying that race relations in the Western Cape have deteriorated since the Democratic Alliance has taken over power here in the city and the province. And it's based on those sets of facts that the ANC, under the leadership of Ebrahim Rasool as its new provincial elections head, feels somewhat buoyant that the 2019 elections could be a successful one for the ANC.
All right, senior parliamentary correspondent Lester Kiewit in Cape